All praise to the Most High Yah. I wanted to share this video because when I awaken to the fact that I am a Hebrew Israelite, I wanted to share somehow with the world, and especially the black community, that we are the children of the Bible when it comes to the Hebrews.
Shalom.
That is a perfect segue to this. Can y'all see this? What's that say?
Brainwash.
Say it again. One more again. Please welcome the author, Tom Burrell. There is a chapter in this book where you talk about the fact, Tom, that we black folk have been bred to be led.
Bred to be led.
We've been bred to be led. Tell me more.
Well, it starts with the idea, Tavis, that we were sold a bill of goods through false advertising back those 310 years ago that you're talking about. The myth of black inferiority. The idea, the big lie that somehow we were less than, not as good as white people. That was the claim. The thing that made it more devastating is the fact they put meat on those bones, and for the next 310 years waged a massive propaganda campaign through the media to substantiate that. The idea that we somehow were less than. The thing that makes it stick is that it is incessant, it never stops. As the media is developed, it is folded right into the media. The images that keep saying to us that we are indeed inferior. We bought it, and we not only bought it, but true to any kind of brainwashing, the brainwashed becomes a part of the brainwashing team. The abused become a part of the abusers. And that's where we are. We are the chief perpetrators of our own victimization. Okay? Now, in the chapter, we talk about disunity. All of the things that we're talking about as it relates to these problems, we would not be talking about if we were not bred to be disunited, to not work together, not to be together. We are 41 million people strong in this country. 41 million, that is a country. That is a country like Argentina, that is a country like Spain. We, in 2012, will be spending $1 trillion. That's the power that we have. Now, you can't tell me that with 41 million people united with $1 trillion, we can't get what we need from this government. The second, another chapter has to do with, it's called D's Will Do. The idea that we accept so little of ourselves and each other. Now, the point as it relates to the presidency is that we basically put forth the effort to get him elected, and then we went somewhere and sat down, okay? And that leads us into the chapter, Bred to be Led. From the very beginning of our time in this country, we were put in the position of being stripped away from all status, stripped away from our heritage, our language, our home, our name, our religion, and we were a blank slate waiting to be written upon. And what was written upon us is that we are dependent. We are helpless. We basically embrace the concept of learned helplessness. And so that's where we are right now as it relates to this whole issue. Throughout our history, we were taught that we could not do it by ourselves. Religion played a part in it. Wait on the Lord, okay? Then wait on your organizations. Then wait on your government. Wait on Mr. Lincoln to free us. Wait on FDR to house and clothe and feed us. Now we are in the same position. We're waiting for our first black president to come in and save us. Now, to the question of being asked to be a part of the agenda, the black agenda, that we haven't been asked, we should not be waiting to be asked. We should not be waiting to be asked. Because inherent in the idea of waiting to be asked by whom? By this circle? That is inherent in inferiority if you think that you have to be asked in order to come to the party. It is our party, 41 million people, okay? So we should not be waiting to be asked. We should be working on getting rid of the lack of love that we have for each other, getting rid of the lack of respect that we have for each other. We have to start working on ourselves, and I really contend with not always agreement, is that we have got to stop focusing on white people. And because to focus on white people buys into the concept of their superiority. It is not what white people think about us. It's not what white people do to us. It's what we think about ourselves and what we do to ourselves. That is the key, and that's what we have to deal with. We have to work on what they call this internal locus of control. We have to learn how to deal with what's inside of us. See, because it was established back then on that blank slate, and we learned to devalue ourselves. We have got to fix ourselves before we can deal with other people. We have got to make sure that we restore our race-based self-esteem so that we can go out and pull together as a unit to get this issue solved. So, as it relates to the black issue, the black agenda, it should not be the president's agenda. It should be our agenda, okay?
We here now, stand, my people. We coming into our heritage. You better wake up, this ain't no fairy tale. Our Elohim, he's here. He's restoring our stolen identities. And you know what this really, really means. We up next. Oh, honey, is this up? It's up. We've been through the fire. The fire. Now it's time to wake up. Wake up. We're about to go higher. Go higher.
Biblical identity of the so-called Negro is the religious world's big dark secret.
The greatest mistake of the movement has been trying to organize the sleeping people around specific goals. At the end of the day, a lot of people are just scared to speak the truth, and that's the bottom line.
If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it.
If you can control TV, movies, music, and distribution, you can control the narrative for a particular group of people. You have to wake the people up first, then you'll get action.